Hello and welcome back. What a week. Defensive, railway, PSU, small cap, mid cap. सबको देख के ऐसा लगा कि शायद ऑपरेशन सिंदूर जिस तरीके से प्रोसेस पूरा चल रहा है और जो पूरी सिचुएशन अब इंडिया अपने ग्लोबल फ्रंट पे बनाता जा रहा है वो कहीं ना कहीं स्टॉक मार्केट ने ही बहुत अच्छी तरीके से सेलिब्रेट करी है। 25,000 बहुत इजीली अचीव और मेंटेन कर लिया है। तो इस वीक तो ये हुआ और क्या क्या हुआ और नेक्स्ट वीक क्या हो सकता है। तो विदाउट वेस्टिंग मच ऑफ टाइम लेट्स ब्रिंग ए के इन एंड सी एज टू व्हाट वी हैव। गुड इवनिंग।
Good evening, Rachit. How are you?
I was about to say, without even asking, you can understand how am I. I am great. I am
Absolutely.
happy. Many confusions जो मेरे को और मेरे जैसे बहुत सारे ट्रेडर्स को रहते थे वो कहीं ना कहीं इस वीक बहुत साइलेंटली दूर जाते हुए दिख गए और परफॉर्मेंस भी दिखा मार्केट में। बट
Right.
एग्जैक्टली क्या हुआ और क्या होगा।
Okay, so Rachit, if you remember last week जब हम बात कर रहे थे, a very unusual thing happened. I refused to give you any range. So I'll tell you why. Friday को when we recorded the video, we were at war.
Right.
Saturday evening, we were on truce. Monday, 900 point gap up. Oh, sorry, 700 point gap up, moved to 900 point. Nobody could have predicted that.
No, certainly not.
So, 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 so my whole point was with that much uncertainty, I thought it was best to not give you or any investor a certain range to look at because मैंने मेरे तो सोच के बाहर था कि 900 पॉइंट खींच जाएगा, honestly speaking. Okay, in spite of the fact that even the last video I told you that our figures, our economic data is coming better from what it was in December. दिसंबर से अभी तक हमारा फिगर ऑन ऑल फ्रंट्स, आईआईपी ले लीजिए, आप डब्ल्यूपीआई ले लीजिए, आप म्यूचुअल फंड में इनफ्लो ले लीजिए, आप जीएसटी कलेक्शन ले लीजिए, एवरीथिंग, you take any parameter and we are doing better than December. Okay, जो अभी recent data आया है, WPI was 0.83 or something like that, right? Again, this is second fall in a row. It leaves our more room with RBI to rate cut, cut the rates. That is
Right.
again one big positive. Okay, in spite of all the good data that was coming in, our market was not picking up because of two major uncertainties. एक तो पिछले एक महीने से जो टैरिफ वॉर का ये चल रहा है, पूरे ग्लोब, the global trade system could have gone into a complete reset. That's a big thing to happen, right? And एक जो पिछले 2 वीक से ये हमारे डोमेस्टिक फ्रंट पे जो वॉर चल रही है, वो ये दो चीजों की अनसर्टेनिटी को लेके मार्केट वाज नॉट गोइंग अप in spite
Right.
of all the data was coming in. अभी क्या हुआ है इस वीक, हम ये दोनों uncertainties, if not completely eradicated, they have really dialed down. Donald Trump had already announced that 90-day lag in any tariff policy with India, right? And our officials are quite comfortable with that timeline. They think that they will agree to a trade agreement before that deadline comes.
Right.
तो ये चीज डायल डाउन हो गई. If you see Trump's latest statements and on China, on the tariff, that is also mellowed down a lot for a lot of stuff.
From
So
both the
this
parties, from both the
from both
sides.
the parties. From even, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Even China has, the full blown trade war bigul that was going on. वो चीज डायल डाउन हो गई है. तो वो फियर, अनसर्टेनिटी, वो आप समझिए वो थोड़ा आप मिटिगेट तो नहीं हुआ है, बट एक बहुत हद तक डिले हो गया है. वो मार्केट से फियर निकल
And
गया.
also the
Secondly,
commentary which is coming in the stance which they are showing right now has narrowed down a lot, and now they're like, okay, let's be reasonable, and they're trying to work it out.
exactly. So that is one thing. Secondly, after the truce was announced on Saturday, till date we are still seeing some sort of cross-border firing here and there across Jammu and Kashmir. Sometimes, some random drones are there at Rajasthan border or Gujarat border. Okay. But still, it has been almost a week or 5 days that we have not seen any major retaliation from both sides.
Right.
Okay. This again, this is not, I'm not saying the risk or uncertainty is mitigated completely, but we are still at a point where we think we can start carrying out with our normal lives. धीरे धीरे एयर स्पेस खुलना और ये सारी चीजें धीरे धीरे ठीक है. They might see, this is not an issue. See, this issue of Kashmir essentially has been since independence. जो इतने साल में सॉल्व नहीं हुआ वो एक हफ्ते में तो क्या ही सॉल्व होगा. So it is a long term thing. It is a long term thing, but you cannot let that impact our current growth. तो ये जो दो मेजर फैक्टर्स जो मैं आपको बोल रहा था जिनकी वजह से अनसर्टेनिटी और फियर था, ये दो फैक्टर्स अब थोड़े थोड़े डिस्टेंट आउट हो रहे हैं मार्केट से, which is that is the impact that we have seen in this week. That is the main impact. अगर आप किसी भी a person who is thinking logically right is reasonable, any day you will not justify a 900 point move on Nifty. And
But
this week
yeah, to
this week
add
we
onto this particular thing,
Mhm.
like both the news came in together for market to factor in.
Exactly,
Like
exactly.
both of them were together. Because frankly, I tell you the more funny thing why I can very easily remember this is that I was because of this ceasefire and there was some movement from the Pakistan side on Sunday, being a holiday as well. On Sunday, I was doing a show wherein I was
Mhm.
telling, it's okay, we might see a gap up, and then eventually we will have to sell into the markets, and everything was, we were discussing everything. Sunday evening, this news coming in, everything changed. And practically the entire idea of shooting that video was so baseless that to put it on air was like, what are we doing? So, both the news coming in together and the market digesting that thing in a single day, like, खुशियों की बहार आ जाना, वो that
बिल्कुल
kind of a
बिल्कुल
situation was there in the market.
बिल्कुल. See, eventually what has happened is that markets have taken it very well, of course, no doubt about it. Secondly, अगर आप देखें विक्स जो पिछले वीक ये जब वॉर स्टार्ट हुई थी, ये जो if you remember, we discussed that fear is there in the market. Even though Nifty is not going down, fear is there because वो 14-15 का जो विक्स चलता था वो 21-22 तक चला गया था. तो 21-22 से वो विक्स इस वीक आप समझिए पहले तो 18 तक गया and it has closed the week at 16.5, which is a great thing. And it might, if the market continues like this, it might go back to those 12-13 levels. जहाँ पे there is not a very high degree of uncertainty or fear in the market. That is one thing. Secondly, if you notice, 24,000 was not broken on a closing basis at all,
Right.
in spite of India and Pakistan being on an almost full-blown war. The reason for this are two main reasons. Because of the fear of slowdown and everything, your top end stocks, your Nifty 50 or Nifty 100, the blue chips, they had really come down in value. As a result, FII money came in heavily into the top heavyweights, जिसकी वजह से बाजार निफ्टी ऊपर जा रहा था. मिड कैप और स्मॉल कैप अगर आप नेगेट कर दें तो उसमें वैल्यूएशन, अगर आप you take the ICICI banks or the Kotak banks or the HDFC banks or ITCs of the world, LNTs of the world. So, if you see their chart over March, April, you will see that a lot of fund flow has come in from them, also from the domestic side. जो जितने भी फ्लेक्सी कैप फंड्स हैं उनकी पोजीशन शिफ्ट हुई है फ्रॉम एक्सपोजर टू मिड कैप एंड स्मॉल कैप टू लार्ज कैप बिकॉज लार्ज कैप्स वर अवेलेबल चीप
They became very attractive.
अट्रैक्टिव सो वो क्या अगर लार्ज कैप में पैसा घुसता जा रहा है तो निफ्टी तो ऊपर मेंटेन करेगा ही सब हाई बीटा स्टॉक्स है हेवी वेट्स है so that is one reason why it did not go down because if you remember my opening remark in one of the videos was this only that I am shocked it has maintained 24,000
Yes.
बिकॉज मुझे पता है कि अगर इस तरह की अनसर्टेनिटी कोई आती है मार्केट में तो पहले तो बाजार टूटता है उसके बाद रीजन आउट करता है कि क्या हो रहा है कितना जाना चाहिए पहले तो टूट जाता है
But the market maintains.
Yeah, but market and FIs have been a net buyer into Indian equities for the last whole month. And India happens to be the only emerging market which has seen net positive inflow of funds.
Right.
So that is a big thing. मतलब सारे emerging market. Sorry?
The confidence is coming back.
Confidence is coming back. That is there. Confidence is coming back. जो माहौल था कि अब हम एक इकोनॉमिक स्लोडाउन एक कंजम्पशन स्लोडाउन में हैं धीरे धीरे that is changing. It has been if you ask me are you comfortable with the pace of this changing I am probably not because दिसंबर में माहौल खराब था हम 4 महीने 5 महीने ही डाउन ओके अगर आप बोले कि टाइम बेस्ड करेक्शन हुआ है नहीं हुआ करेक्शन अगर एग्जैक्टली वी शेप नहीं है तो कंप्लीटली यू शेप भी नहीं है
It is somewhere in between.
हाँ
So where are we heading now?
Again, yeah, where are we heading? Yes. So, Rachit, जैसे मैंने आपको last week भी बोला था, technically 24,650 was being a very strong resistance, जो बाजार ने इस week में 2 या 3 बार very easily cross कर लिया, and we have made a newer top. Okay, no doubt about it. So, technically we are at a very very strong buy zone. Okay. I have, again, I do not see any major triggers unless something, uncertain happens in the coming week. Okay. In that light, I will be able to give you a range this time.
Finally,
Okay,
we getting it back.
Yes, 24,650 should be on a closing base should be a strong support zone. मुझे नहीं लगता वो टूटेगा easily up. And 25,127 is exactly the point where it made the second peak after life high. So if you remember correctly, sometime around 25th, 26th September last year, 26,227 जो हाई मारा था निफ्टी ने लाइफ हाई उसके बाद we had almost 6 weeks of continuous fall in Nifty. After that fall, जो fall जब रुका है, sometime in mid-November when it again made that second peak, that peak was 25,127, and we are dangerously close to that peak. तो मुझे लगता है I would be I think it is reasonable to assume that would pose as a resistance zone as of now. हम हैं उससे 100 पॉइंट नीचे हैं ज्यादा वो नहीं है अब मंडे को कोई गैप अप भी खोल सकता है कोई वो नहीं आई एम नॉट सेइंग इट कैन नॉट ब्रेक दैट इन दिस कमिंग वीक बट ब्रेक करके सस्टेन करना आर टू डिफरेंट थिंग्स ओके सो आई सी दैट एज अ सपोर्ट वी आर while I say that we are in the buy zone given my range we are dangerously close to the top of the zone so if I have to take a trading call in this situation, I would short the market.
Going up to 25,100, then we will short it or from
25, 150 मान लो.
अच्छा ठीक है
25-150 के ऊपर जाता है तो मुझे लॉन्ग लगता है.
एंड देन वेयर आर वी हेडिंग
Like I say, we will cross the bridge when we come to it.
Okay, okay, got it. So we are in a bullish zone, but after yesterday's run up and today's sideways movement, we might see some downside, but that will be getting protected somewhere near 24,650, 24,600. And when we
Yeah,
talk about the next top that we might see, that would be somewhere near 25,150. So this would
right.
be the range wherein we need to trade. Any specific sector that, because very frankly, after a long time, we are seeing like because of the kind of inquiry that the defense sector is getting after the stellar performance that they
Yeah,
have shown in Operation Sindoor. The defense started off running up and they're still going up. The railways have shown quite decent performance on today.
in fact, yes.
So, any specific sector that we need to focus in the next week, or will it be the same flavor: defense, railway,
It
PSU, or
it will
everything?
be it will be the same flavor. Defense and railways. Broadly speaking, infrastructure. To be precise, for the next week. For the slightly longer term, the fresh rally of Nifty might be based now on IT and pharma, because those are the sectors which have not which are not driven as of now. They are still subdued. The banks have all moved up. The banks have reached a particular valuation where fresh amount of buying is not going to happen unless something fundamentally good, better comes up, something that shifts the valuation up. So I don't see a lot of money coming into the banking sector now. But yeah, but IT might be the next horse to move. Yeah, yeah.
Chaliye. As always, it was amazing talking, and I really want the next time when we sit for weekly roundup, we might be, we should be standing on those levels wherein we can have further more upside, so
Yeah.
that at least for some time we can have the happiness on the face and the portfolio going up, and the retail people who have been waiting for some months now for to see some green in their portfolios, finally they're getting. And after a very long time we are seeing a very happy weekend. So chaliye, it was amazing talking, and we'll catch up the next weekend as well. And a happy weekend and happy trading.
Thank you. Have a good weekend. Bye bye.